Well, it's been quite a year. I guess you could call it our COVID year.
This year was amazing. We just had to think outside the box and do things so differently. Just like I told our seniors, we had to think differently, adapt to everything, and adjust to anything. So I just couldn't be any happier for our employees. They just did everything asked for our children, and they were just amazing.
This has been a year like no other. Our employees have been wonderful, stepping up to the plate, handling this crisis.
The board knew it was going to be a challenging year, but we had the people and resources in place for the year to be successful.
It started with the board, with our policies we had to put in play, our central office leadership taking that role and defining that for our employees, from our administrators, our curriculum team, our teachers, our maintenance department, our custodians, food service, transportation, MHPs, counselors, nurses, clerical, and our paraeducators.
One of the most important things we did was partner with Ochsner to ensure that we received reliable, up-to-date information to base our decisions on.
So in partnership with the Ochsner Health Systems, the Moving Forward Planning Guide was developed. It was also developed using the guidelines from BSEE, LDOE, and LDH, as well as the CDC recommendations. There were 3 commitment statements that guided our work throughout moving forward together. We included 1, making sure that we could provide the safety for all of our employees and students. In doing so, then we were able to continue to provide our students with learning opportunities that would be engaging, as well as support their social and emotional needs. By accomplishing those 2 things, thirdly, we could make sure to assist the community in stopping the spread of COVID-19.
In order to prepare the teachers for the new year, we worked together to develop professional development lessons for teachers in order for them to learn how to instruct students virtually, because we knew that that would be a new component of their learning.
We weren't meeting in groups, so we Zoomed principal meetings, which we did often. There were decisions that needed to be made almost on a daily basis. Even school board meetings were live streamed since capacity was limited in the boardrooms.
To meet CDC compliance measures, we had to ensure that all administrators, staff, teachers, and students, as well as our school buildings and buses, met those requirements.
Remember, we were in the middle of a pandemic. The expression CDC compliant became a very important expression during the 2021 school year. We didn't want an outbreak. We wanted everyone to be safe. We wanted to have a great school year.
So we basically had to alter everything we did to get students back in school because we knew how important that was. And there was a lot of work to get that done.
Custodial staff really worked hard by starting back in July. They had to get the classrooms ready and move a lot of furniture around, help with the disinfection process before the school even opened up. Just all those type of things to get the schools ready for learning. And they really pushed hard to get the job done of providing a safe and clean learning environment for our students and staff.
Some of the things that we did was we installed synthetic partitions in all of our commons areas, our gyms and our cafeterias. We also installed individual water filling stations, the bottle fillers, so that the kids can bring their own bottles and fill. We built over 500 plexiglass partitions. We upgraded our air filtration systems as well, introduced more fresh air into the classroom. It was a lot. Everybody stepped up. We disinfected each and every individual school, several of them, more than once during the holidays. We would go in and disinfect. My guys really stepped up to the task, and I'm proud of them.
The transportation office staff was tasked with coverages for routes. Anytime a driver was out with COVID, we had to cover with other buses. We also had to make sure that we had sufficient supplies. We worked very closely with maintenance to get it out to the buses. We had to follow the different guidelines from CDC, from Louisiana Department of Health, and the Department of Education as far as capacities on the bus, as far as disinfecting the bus. In between each run, the driver would have to pull over to completely disinfect the bus. We did all of this for the safety of our students in St. Tammany Parish School System.
All our employees, from our bus drivers to our attendants to our sub-drivers and our office employees, have done an incredible job of really dealing with the COVID pandemic restrictions that were put in place. I could not be prouder of the work they've done in regards to everyday challenges of trying to make it the best or to try to find the sense of normalcy for our students.
We launched our school year right after Labor Day using our innovative Safe Start plan. This staggered approach welcomed 1/4 of our students on campus each day so they could learn new campus routines and procedures and take diagnostic testing to help us identify areas of unfinished learning from the previous school year. After Safe Start Week, students in grades pre-K through 5 began in-person learning 5 days a week. Students in grades 6 through 12 used a hybrid learning model consisting of both in-person learning and distance learning using Google Classroom. By the end of September, students in grades 6 through 8 transitioned to in-person learning 5 days a week. Our students in grades 9 through 12 were not far behind, transitioning to in-person learning 5 days a week by early November. We were also able to offer a full virtual school model to meet the needs of our community during this unprecedented school year.
We kept in mind that there was unfinished learning from the previous school year, specifically with the 4th 9 weeks, and we know that there were standards that perhaps we didn't get to cover with the kids. So with that in mind, we went ahead and front-loaded some of those standards into the upcoming school year's curriculum. Specifically, we adjusted the scope and sequence to make time to teach those standards that perhaps weren't covered at all or needed to be addressed a little more deeply. And I can't say enough about the help that the curriculum specialists gave us, the role that they played specifically in making sure that those adjustments to the curriculum happened.
Students went from the bus straight to their classrooms, where teachers were waiting to take their temperatures with touchless thermometers and asked the COVID questions, such as, do you have a new headache, chills, or muscle pain?
If a student or an employee tested positive for COVID-19, we immediately began contact tracing to mitigate the spread of the virus.
Our seating charts became really important. That's how we knew who to quarantine if needed.
In our classrooms, we spaced our desks and tables 6 feet apart to maximize social distancing. In our hallways, we had directional markings on the floors and walls to direct the flow of traffic so our hallways didn't get overcrowded.
We had to think outside of the box for this. It was a brand new situation that we were facing, and we had to figure out a way to still serve the kids meals that they enjoyed that were hot, nutritious, and delicious, but we had to do it in a safe way. We prepared grab-and-go breakfast and boxed hot lunches to serve in the hallways, in classrooms, in partitioned dining rooms, and in other spaces that were designated as temporary dining areas. The staff did very well. They faced lots of challenges, but my staff really cares about the kids, and our #1 goal is to feed the children. So we met that goal. It was a lot of hard work, but we were able to do it.
And everyone had to wear masks. Teachers, staff, and students, 3rd grade and up.
I have to say, our teachers really stepped up. It was amazing. They knew the students needed to learn, and they were ready to teach.
It was important that we return to some sense of normalcy, even though we knew that was really going to look different.
We had to make a lot of changes this year, but we're just grateful to be back doing what we love, teaching our students.
A lot of things were different, but I was happy to return to school, even if we had to wear masks and social distance. Even lunch was different.
It was kind of strange at first, but I was always excited to eat lunch in the cafeteria or grab and go and eat lunch with my friends in the classroom.
I'm really grateful that my teachers are willing to come back so we could get back to school.
Hand sanitizers, masks, and touchless thermometers all became our new teaching supplies. It all became part of our new normal. That's just what we had to do to teach our students.
And without our administrators, we could not have done it. They worked tirelessly to make sure that we had everything we needed.
At first I was worried that I wouldn't be able to play flute this year, but my band teacher went the extra mile. I just covered my flute and I got to play.
In choir, we would go outside, stand 6 feet apart, and sing with our masks on. It was hard at first, but it was important to me to be able to sing.
For the lower grades, we focused more on rhythmic activities instead of singing. Although it was a different curriculum, the kids still loved it.
I have to say that this year my technology skills really grew. Well, everyone's did, both teachers and students.
There were times I taught students in the classroom while also teaching quarantine students on Google Meet, all at the same time. But I had lots of opportunities for training and lots of support for Google Meet, so I'm very thankful for that.
One of the most amazing things, I think, is that the district distributed over 42,000 Chromebooks to teachers and students.
And even hotspots to those who needed them. That was quite an amazing accomplishment.
Nurses really had to step it up this year, learning COVID protocols and keeping current with the new ones that came out. They even had to keep 6 students isolated with COVID symptoms away from the well students each school day.
Everybody had to step up. Our secretaries had to already add to a monumental list of things they already do to monitor anyone wanting to come into our schools. Only essential employees were allowed in, and the secretaries were the ones who monitored the temperature checks and screening questions each day. I can't say enough about how hard they worked.
So sports brings normalcy back to every student athlete, every student, every spectator. Just really proud that we're able to offer that part of being a normal, especially for our seniors, to end their academic careers, for our student athletes and for our fans as well. Just made it feel as normal as possible.
Man, this sports year was so challenging. I never worried so much about keeping our kids COVID-free and in the game.
But the athletes got it, and they knew what they had to do. And everyone knew how important it was to get these kids back on the field.
I was so worried about being quarantined and not being able to play.
But my teammates and I just had to take it a day at a time and be as safe as we could.
So thankful for my coach who hung in there with us. It was just so important to get to play sports this year. And we even won state.
I was so aware of how much my teachers wanted us to have as normal a school year as we could. I'm so grateful for their help at times when we needed, and they worked so hard.
I heard about the other school districts that weren't able to open back up, and I'm so grateful for our administrators and our school district that was able to get our kids back in school and working hard.
And my son was so happy to get back to school. I never thought I would see that, but he was.
And you know, we all had to work together to make the school year successful, and I think we did it.
You know, we all learned a lot. We learned how resilient we all could be, especially the children.
And I think the people are really what made the difference. We supported one another, we worked together, and together we got through it. And I think it's made us all better for it.
What I've come to understand is that St. Tammany Parish Public Schools is so much more than just the buildings. It's the people inside.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you. We appreciate everything.
Our teachers are the best.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Coach. You're the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, y'all. I greatly appreciate it.
Thanks. Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Thank you. We love you.
Thank you. Really. Thank you.
We love you.
Thank you, St. Tammany Parish Public Schools.
We made it.